Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia update for December 25th through 28th, 2020. How are you doing? Merry Christmas. Wow. Here we made it to this powerful, potent time, and what a crazy Christmas. It just doesn't feel like Christmas in a lot of ways, and yet we have a Christmas star in the sky. There's a revolution taking place. We don't feel it yet. I mean, we do, but we're not seeing it yet exactly, but we're starting to. It's a spiritual revolution. You've been working on this for quite a while, for lifetimes. And it's happening. Congratulations, you made it. So this Christmas has some powerful messages for us because the day before Christmas, Mercury in Capricorn and very close to the sun, Mercury and the sun are together. So this is about a mind awakening, realizations, like a new perspective. When Sun and Mercury, it's like they're coming together being like, what's going on here? Mercury is like, I'm trying to understand. And it's like, oh, well, good luck with that one because Neptune is square the nodes of the moon and Venus is coming into for the full moon that's happening on Tuesday, the 29th. Venus will be coming into a conjunction with the South Node and Sagittarius, square up with Neptune. So more confusion. Except for that, ultimately, confusion brings more clarity. And you're like, wait a minute, you've been saying clarity is going to come this whole year. And it's like not coming. I know it's an intricate thing. We don't know what we're doing. We're at the edge. We can't see around the corner. And ever since spring, and when we first started feeling all this retrograde energy, we've been totally lost. Except for the message is that, like, that means you're doing it right. That means you're surrendering. That means you're saying yes to your bigger truth and your bigger self. And that's what this Christmas energy is about, because the day before Christmas and Mercury comes into square with Chiron. The day after Christmas, the sun comes into square with Chiron. Chiron in Aries just having turned direct at 4 degrees. And Chiron in Aries Chiron's the deep wounds, and Aries is about, so the deep wounds in Aries is about where you haven't been able to be who you really are and survive. This energy explains some of the feelings that people have been having, especially Mars square Pluto. So Mars square Pluto, third and final time, Mars direct now. All this goes back to the retrograde energies. We're still in it. Mars comes out of its retrograde shadow right at the end of the year. And this third and final Mars square Pluto. So Sun, Mercury in Capricorn, square Chiron in Aries. Pluto in Capricorn, square Mars in Aries. So this Aries Capricorn energy is quintessentially important right now. Capricorn is laws, rules, authority, and your own authority and organization and being down to earth and get real with things, creating things, manifestation. Aries is about life force. So it's interesting because we're realizing how much we've given our power away, humanity. And then our life force has been used for negative creating. It's kind of like the American tax dollar paying for a whole bunch of corruption all over the world, Be like, how is it that our politicians make like $200,000 a year, but they're worth millions? How does that add up? Where is that money coming from? So this is our life force being used for the shadow war, and we're taking it back. Humanity's got to take it back. We don't have a choice. And this is this life and death fight warrior energy of the Aries. And Chiron and Aries just turned direct. It's like, I'm not going to take it. Aries wants freedom more than anything, and life and zest and living and creative force, And how exciting is it to think of these advanced souls remembering who they are, taking back their life force, taking back their power, and deliberately co-creating the new earth energies. It's like we're done fighting that lower matrix, and of course that's this total distraction play that's happening right now. I think it's good to pay attention on some level so you can be present with events energetically. But on the other level, it's like this is a movie. And I'm ready for the after party. Oh gosh. And so Mercury, Sun, what's going on here? What's happening in our brain? And square Chiron in Aries, wounds around where we haven't been able to be who we really are on Earth and stay alive. So using fear of death to control us. And it's saying Aries wants freedom so bad. Capricorn represents authoritarian mechanisms that can control us. So and Mercury's the mind, and the Sun is inspiration and brilliancy and energy. And so it's time to break free of the mind control. And part of the movie playing out is that it's, we're trying to do it gradually, I guess, so that we don't have a zombie apocalypse when people lose their mind control and then they go a little crazy. But it's like, wait a minute, this is the zombie apocalypse, right? Like, I woke up one day and everybody's wearing masks and they're mad at me for not wearing one. And it's funny because it's like this whole energy of like everybody's adjusting their mask all the time, and then what about the bacterial pneumonia that's happening from, it's just like, where's the logic? And that's this transit. Sun, Mercury, ching, the light going on in the mind, square to Chiron, wounds over where we haven't been able to own our own life force. It's like, I am unplugging from the matrix now. And we've already done this work, right? We've been working on it. But as the masses start to unplug from the matrix, wow. I mean, this is this thing. It's like the light's coming in, the matrix is trying to block it, but there's this dismantling, and then more light can come in. And so your job, of course, is to be there, receive the light, and to clear everywhere you've been giving your attention through lifetimes to the fear programming and to the delusions and to the lies. But a very confusing time. We're so in it still of this Jupiter, because Jupiter and Saturn are still close in the sky. They're still less than 1 degree apart all the way to January 2nd. So this conjunction is still happening. We're not going to be able to make sense of what's happening to us until after that, and probably even a little bit more. They're 2 degrees apart until January 7th through 10th, and then 3 degrees apart until January 23rd. And so we're, when big things are happening and you're in the middle of it, it's like you can't get a sense of what's going on, and you're like, I know 2020 has been one big confusion. And it's like, now we have the cherry on top of confusion with Neptune square the nodes. And so that energy of, so what's going to be happening after Christmas, the next chapter is that Venus comes into a conjunction with the South Node in Sagittarius, then goes over the galactic center. And that's like our New Year's experience of this exalted feminine, putting ourselves back into wholeness. And that's everything that has to do with the full moon that's happening on Tuesday, the 29th in Cancer. And it's interesting, the Cancer rules the 4th house. And so in your chart, the 4th house is like 4 walls. Like, what makes you feel safe and secure? For the supernova soul, because of your story through this earth evolution, a lot of times the 4th house can be about what makes you feel safe on earth and welcome here, And so much core wounds coming up for the supernova soul of being rejected from this earth, not welcome here in your spiritual truth. And this is the Chiron and Aries wounds, like having to pretend you're something different than you are in order to survive. And then there's the power coming in the people, the energy right now in the spiritual revolution of being like, life is not worth living if I don't have my freedom and my power back. So game over lower matrix, game over deep state, game over cabal control of our reality. And so we're just in this, we're in this wrestling of the timeline, psychological war, but it's a great dismantling that's happening. And so your role is a very powerful role of holding your attention, your energy towards this spiritual revolution and awakening. And just you existing here is harmonizing this experience, you know? So huge energies of like, you're doing it right. You made it. Thank God you're here. Blessings on you. You can receive the blessings now. This Cancer full moon is like, can you receive the blessings now? You know, we had that really powerful eclipse last year in Cancer, total solar eclipse. And we got the message in June of 2019 that this was a massive divine timeline alignment, but it's going to take 6 months to take effect. And then the 6-month mark of that, total solar eclipse on the galactic center. And it's all about coming out of our quarantine, you know, our psychological control, the lower matrix, mind control, and seeing the bigger picture of who we really are. And this is why life's been so hard for you, because you've seen this, you know this somewhere inside of you. All of the darkest feelings and struggle of the supernova soul comes from this forgotten part of you that's been denied and fractured and cut into pieces. And it's time to come back into wholeness. And that goes hand in hand with releasing from the mind control, taking back your power and standing up in your righteous truth. I'm like, yeah, you know what? The light's light again. You told us the light was dark. The light's light again. And we're going to stand in that righteous truth and know that the divine plan wins. God wins. And we're not going to take it. We're not going to play these games anymore. Go away with your narcissist veneer bullshit parasitic reality. These forces that are controlling us have no power source of their own. All the power that they're using is our power that we willingly gave over. And that's why we're having a movie play out, especially in the US, this like ground war of awakening. This movie has to happen so that people can realize how they've given away their power. And that's exactly the energy of Black Moon Lilith in conjunct to Uranus. They were exact the 21st to the 23rd, but they stay close until the 19th of January. And that goes right up to the inauguration date. And so it's kind of like, you know, Uranus is a revolution, an awakening, new vibrational energies coming to the earth, a new conception of wealth, a new relationship to physical reality. And Uranus conjunct Black Moon Lilith is saying, we don't get that. We can't go any further without, like, the earth has to throw off the demonic, satanic, like, stuff that can't go on and have a healthy psyche, right? Like, we cannot just pretend this doesn't exist anymore. And these truths coming out is so incredibly scary and gross and hard for people to deal with, except for that we really need to keep in mind that this has been happening for thousands of years. It's just been hidden from us. So, we have to remember that the healing process is about the true healing. In any true healing situation, you're going to have an expression of the suppressed symptoms, energies as they leave the body. So we've got to face the monster in order to get rid of it. We can no longer keep the blinders on. We have come to the end of the road. Humanity's got to wake up, take their power back, or succumb to total control. And wow. And that's so interesting for the supernova soul, because it's like such an intense time and so dynamic, and yet we're so in this weird purgatory place, but so much spiritual validation, cleansing, and healing coming for you, the supernova soul, for kind of like, just this revelatory experience of your worth as a spiritual being. And like, whoa, I'm kicking ass here with my soul group, and we made it. And this is what's happening. We've been fighting this spiritual psychic war for lifetimes, and we made it here. We're alive in bodies, living and breathing. It's happening. It's being revealed. And it's like going from the dark, scary movie to the excitement of what's to come, and how powerful it is that you've been chosen. To be such an integral, play such an integral role. And that is going to be revealed to you in these coming weeks. More and more, it feels like. You being, it's like, whoa, I got the power. You got what everybody wants. You hold all the cards. You just forgot. And we're remembering just in time. Sometimes it happens that way, Sometimes it can't, the shift can't happen until it gets intense enough, right? That's the corner. It's like, can't go any further. So there's death or there's a shift, right? And that's this Aries square. Aries, it's like a life or death. So there's such an intensity going on. But the supernova soul, it's about you're coming to a great redemption and dropping where you've been loyal to the lower energies and loyal to the lower matrix and realizing, that's not your job and you got this amazing purpose here. And you finally get to uncover those gifts. Merry Christmas. We're here. We made it. And you are a powerful gift for this world. And that's Uranus and Taurus too. It's a shake-up revolution of our worth. And you bought into, supernova souls just bought into that they were just some, bottom of the barrel scum, the vermin, Oh, there's another light worker. Go squash them, kill them, murder them, whatever. And it's what we've experienced in our past lives. And it's all that only validates that you got the gold. And it's time to come into that. It's so exciting. And I see this as a big shift through this Holy Nights and the Epiphany, January 6th. This is a shift for supernova souls to really meditate and be present with this spiritual revelation that's available. And it very much fits the Cancer full moon happening on Tuesday, coming back into the arms of the mother, coming back into feeling held and received and loved and cared for. And so important, the energy's coming through, gratitude towards you and what you've done to get here and what you're doing that you don't even realize you're doing by just making it through, So it's such a huge revelation time of dropping all those stories about not being good enough and you failed and God doesn't love you and, you're never going to have anything good come back into your life. It's everything's just leaving, the tide going out. What's the point? What are we even doing here? Groundhog Day, every day is the same, except for there's all this dynamic energy, but we're still in this, that's all going to break in the next few weeks. So take this time to be present and receive your great revealing. Receive this deep, powerful awareness of who you are and why you're here and the gift that you have. And, it's we've been this codependent relationship of the light workers and the normies. And it's you guys, here, look what I have for you. I went through all this, just really beat myself up to just continue to come back and give you a little bit of healing light and hope. And, let's do this. Let's fight for freedom. And they're burn her, it's and it's oh, and we keep going back, to these relationships that have nothing for us besides invalidation, disregard, and it's okay. But it's hard because we haven't had the new really land yet. And so just know that we're in the middle of this. We're just in the middle of it. And when you're in the middle of it, you can't see exactly what's going on. But what it's about for you is your wealth being revealed, your release from the lower matrix, your claiming back your life force, your zest, your creation, energy, and getting back to really actually living. And that's the only option we will stand for, right? We're done playing out, repeating history and the dark patterns and the trauma loop. No, done that long enough now. So incredibly intense squares. We still have Mars square Pluto. That comes back together exact the day after Christmas this weekend. So, wow, because that's the ego death. That's the facing. That's the breakdown of all the faults. It's everything that's in the way, everything that's veneer and fake, that's in the way of true living, true life force, true power, that spiritual warrior standing up for what's right and good and true, and cleaning the slate, right? So, but these squares bring so much tension, energy, but there's also this potential there, right? To pop out of your seat, turn that corner, to have that righteous, part of, before we ever change anything in our life, we typically have to get uncomfortable, and we often have to get frustrated and angry with the way things are before we'll allow a shift. And that's exactly what's playing out in the world, So that frustration, that tension, that square energy is all about pushing you around that corner into the future, into the light, into the blessings that are trying to come, the validation, the spiritual validation, the awakening. So Merry Christmas. What a powerful time we live in, and it's such an honor to be here with you. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you maybe on that full moon in Cancer on Tuesday the 29th, or on the next update. Until then, Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Blessing. May this shower of this Christmas star, the light that's coming to break through the lower lies and deceit and delusions, break into your life and break through, free your mind, and so that you can come back into your relationship with the Great Mother and feeling held and loved and connected, and coming back into your power, your potential, and never feel that, we're coming to a place where we're turning the corner on this heavy energy that we've all been wrestling with. It's like we're not battling down in the lower play anymore. The matrix is dissolving, and say goodbye to the heavy goo of that deep depression, hopeless energy. That's 2020. That was blooming then, and now it's time to turn the corner. So have a wonderful weekend and Christmas, and blessings to you. I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update, or maybe that activation. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.